Did you know that life after 70 comes with brutal realities almost everyone eventually faces? Many of us look forward to our 70s as a peaceful chapter of well-deserved rest, but the truth is that this decade introduces profound changes that can catch even the most prepared individuals completely off guard. You might be feeling a shift in how the world treats you, or noticing subtle changes in your own body and mind that no one ever warned you about. These are not just passing phases. They are fundamental shifts in your daily reality. In this video, we are going to explore 6 brutal realities of life after 70, uncovering the hidden challenges that aging experts and psychologists recognize as major turning points. Acknowledging these truths might feel uncomfortable at first, but burying your head in the sand will only leave you vulnerable to isolation and decline. By understanding these inevitable changes, you gain the power to navigate them with grace, resilience, and unwavering confidence. Stay tuned until the end, because the 6th reality is a profound truth that most people actively deny, yet accepting it holds the ultimate key to finding deep peace in your later years. Once you see these realities clearly, you will be equipped to transform potential hardships into periods of tremendous personal growth. Now let's begin. Number 1, the shrinking social circle. One of the most difficult truths about entering your 70s is that your social landscape will inevitably become much smaller. For decades, you likely relied on a vibrant network of coworkers, lifelong friends, and active neighbors, assuming these connections would always be there to support you. However, as the years go by, the harsh reality is that people pass away, relocate to be closer to their adult children, or simply lose the physical mobility required to stay actively engaged. You might find your weekly calendar looking painfully empty, leading to a deep and unexpected sense of isolation. Sociologists and mental health professionals emphasize that this sudden lack of regular social interaction is not just an emotional hardship. It is a significant risk factor for cognitive decline and chronic depression. Consider Arthur, a 76-year-old man who always enjoyed a bustling life, filled with weekend golf games and lively dinner parties. As his friends began dealing with severe health issues and moving into assisted living communities, Arthur found himself spending most of his days entirely alone, staring at the walls of his quiet house. He assumed that making new friends at his age was impossible, and he allowed a heavy blanket of loneliness to smother his once vibrant spirit. What Arthur failed to realize was that withdrawing from the world was actively accelerating his own physical and mental aging process. When your social circle shrinks, it is incredibly easy to feel like you have been left behind by the world. But this reality does not have to be a permanent sentence of solitude. The good news is that you possess the wisdom and the capacity to forge brand new, deeply meaningful relationships right now. By actively seeking out local community groups, volunteering your time, or simply starting conversations with neighbors, you can rebuild a supportive network. Embracing this truth empowers you to step outside your comfort zone, proving that your capacity for human connection never expires. Number 2, the invisible physical decline. Another startling reality of life after 70 is that your body begins to change in ways that are entirely invisible to the outside world, yet deeply impactful on your daily routine. You might look in the mirror and recognize the same vibrant spirit you have always had, but underneath the surface, your physical machinery is quietly slowing down. Joints that used to move freely now ache with unpredictable stiffness, and your stamina can completely evaporate without any warning. Many older adults try to ignore these subtle shifts, pushing themselves to perform at the same level they did in their 50s, only to end up exhausted, frustrated, and sometimes severely injured. Geriatric specialists note that this invisible decline is a perfectly natural part of the cellular aging process. Yet the psychological toll it takes can be devastating if you refuse to accept it. Think about Helen, a 73-year-old woman who always prided herself on maintaining a pristine home and a flourishing garden. When her knees began to throb with intense arthritis and her energy dropped rapidly in the afternoons, she felt a profound sense of shame, convinced that she was failing. She stubbornly refused to ask for help or alter her rigorous schedule, pushing her body until she suffered a muscle tear that forced her into weeks of agonizing bed rest. Helen viewed her physical limitations as a tragic defeat, completely missing the fact that her body was simply asking for a gentler, more compassionate approach to daily living. When you fight against your body's natural evolution, you create a state of chronic stress that actually accelerates your physical deterioration and ruins your peace of mind. Acknowledging this brutal reality does not mean you are surrendering to old age. It means you are wisely adapting your lifestyle to protect your long-term independence. The most empowering step you can take is to listen closely to what your body needs today, modifying your activities to suit your current energy levels, and prioritizing gentle movements over grueling exertion. You can still enjoy a wonderfully active life, provided you learn to work in harmony with your physical changes, rather than constantly fighting against time. Embracing this shift frees you to find tremendous joy in the simpler pleasures of your daily routine. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, the loss of societal relevance. One of the most psychologically jarring realities of reaching your 70s is the sudden feeling that society has quietly pushed you directly to the sidelines. For most of your adult life, your identity was likely tied to your career, your role as an active parent, or your tangible contributions to your local community. When those primary roles naturally fade away, you might step out into the world and realize that people often look right through you, dismissing your profound wisdom in favor of youth and modern speed. Psychologists who study aging highlight that this devastating loss of societal relevance can trigger a massive identity crisis, leaving you feeling invisible, undervalued, and entirely disconnected from the vibrant pulse of modern life. Take Charles, a 75-year-old man who previously ran a highly successful local business and was widely respected for his sharp negotiating skills. After retiring and handing the business over, Charles assumed his opinions would still carry the same heavy weight in community meetings and casual gatherings. However, he quickly noticed that younger people politely talked over him, brushing aside his decades of hard-earned experience, as if it were completely outdated. Charles internalized this painful rejection, allowing a bitter sense of uselessness to poison his days, and he slowly withdrew from the public life he once deeply loved. What Charles did not comprehend was that society's superficial obsession with youth says absolutely nothing about his true inherent worth. When you rely solely on external validation to define your value, losing your professional or societal status leaves you completely unanchored and vulnerable to deep depression. The brutal truth is that the world will not naturally offer you the spotlight anymore. So you must bravely create your own profound sense of meaning and purpose. This is a tremendous opportunity to redefine exactly who you are, completely free from the exhausting demands of a traditional career or social expectations. Your vast experience is a massive treasure, and even if the broader society fails to recognize it, you can still share your incredible gifts through mentoring, creative pursuits, or quiet leadership within your own family. You hold the powerful pen that writes your story, and you have the absolute authority to decide that your life is incredibly relevant. When you anchor your self-worth internally, the changing attitudes of society lose their sting, allowing you to walk through your senior years with a quiet, unshakable dignity that commands respect from anyone truly paying attention. You do not need the world's constant applause to live a deeply meaningful, vibrant, and incredibly impactful life. Number 4, the threat of financial uncertainty. Entering your 70s forces you to confront the harsh reality that your financial resources are finite and the safety net you spent decades building might feel less secure than you imagine. While you may have planned your retirement meticulously, the unpredictable forces of rapid inflation, fluctuating markets, and skyrocketing healthcare costs can quietly erode your hard-earned savings. It is incredibly common for older adults to wake up in the middle of the night, gripped by the terrifying thought that they might outlive their money, leaving them dependent on others. Financial gerontologists warn that this lingering anxiety is not just a math problem. It is a massive psychological burden that raises your blood pressure and severely diminishes your daily quality of life. Consider Martha, a 74-year-old woman who entered her retirement with a comfortable nest egg, fully expecting to spend her golden years traveling and treating her grandchildren. When unexpected medical bills for a chronic condition began piling up and the daily cost of groceries doubled, Martha panicked obsessively, checking her bank accounts and completely stopping all the joyful activities she once loved. She lived in a state of constant paralyzing fear, denying herself basic comforts because she was absolutely certain her money would vanish within a few short years. What Martha failed to see was that her intense financial anxiety was robbing her of the very life she had saved so diligently to enjoy. While the threat of outliving your resources is a brutal and realistic concern, allowing that fear to control your every waking moment will only ensure that your remaining years are spent in absolute misery. The key to surviving this reality is facing your finances with a calm, rational, and highly proactive mindset. By sitting down and creating a clear budget, eliminating unnecessary expenses, and perhaps consulting a trusted advisor, you can regain a powerful sense of control over your economic destiny. You may need to make practical adjustments to your lifestyle, but living within your means is far better than living under the crushing weight of endless financial panic. True wealth in your 70s is measured by your adaptability, your inner peace, and your refusal to let money dictate your joy. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5, the shifting family dynamics. A particularly painful reality that hits hard in your 70s is the dramatic and often unspoken shift in your family hierarchy. For your entire adult life, you were the steadfast provider, the ultimate decision maker, and the wise counselor that your children relied upon during difficult times. However, as you age, the script slowly flips, and your adult children may start treating you more like a dependent than a respected elder, subtly stepping in to manage your health, your home, and your personal choices. Psychologists observe that this role reversal, while usually born out of love and deep concern, can leave you feeling stripped of your profound autonomy, creating a silent and bitter resentment that slowly poisons family gatherings. Think about James, a 77-year-old man who always prided himself on being the unshakable pillar of his large family. When he experienced a minor fall in his kitchen, his well-meaning daughter immediately took over, bringing in a barrage of safety equipment, managing his medical appointments, and sternly telling him what he was no longer allowed to do. James felt completely infantilized in his own beloved home, but he swallowed his pride and stayed silent, fearing that speaking up would make him look like a stubborn, ungrateful burden. What James did not realize was that his silence was validating a dynamic that was actively destroying his confidence and his sense of personal freedom. It is a brutal truth that your children will eventually worry about you, but you must never allow their protective anxiety to erase your fundamental right to self-determination. Navigating this delicate shift requires tremendous grace, but it also requires you to establish firm, loving boundaries regarding your own independence. You must communicate openly with your family, assuring them that while you deeply appreciate their care, you are still the primary architect of your own daily life. When you confidently assert your capabilities, you shift the relationship from a stressful, caregiving dynamic back to a beautiful, mutual partnership built on profound respect. Holding on to your agency does not mean rejecting their love. It simply means demanding that your dignity remains completely intact as you navigate the complexities of aging together. You are still the vibrant author of your life, and your voice deserves to be heard, respected, and honored within the family circle you worked so hard to build. Maintain your beautiful authority, and let your wisdom continue to guide your family through example. Number 6, the proximity of mortality. The final and perhaps most profoundly brutal reality of life. After 70 is the undeniable truth that your remaining time on this earth is significantly shorter than the time you have already lived. For most of our lives, death is an abstract concept, something that happens in the distant future, completely separate from our daily concerns. But as you progress through your 70s, the loss of peers and the changes in your own body force you to confront your own mortality on a very personal level. Bereavement counselors and spiritual leaders note that desperately denying this reality only breeds a dark, paralyzing anxiety that suffocates your ability to enjoy the precious days you have left. Consider Susan, a 75-year-old woman who vehemently refused to discuss anything related to aging, end-of-life planning, or the passing of her beloved friends. She filled her schedule with endless distractions, frantically trying to outrun the creeping shadow of time, and became incredibly irritable whenever the future naturally arose in conversation. Susan lived in a state of absolute denial, completely unaware that her desperate avoidance was robbing her of the profound peace that comes from accepting the natural cycle of life. When you spend all your energy fighting the inevitable, you miss the glorious, fragile beauty of the present moment, trapping yourself in a state of perpetual fear. Embracing the proximity of your own mortality is not a morbid surrender. It is the ultimate psychological liberation that allows you to live with breathtaking intention. This is the profound truth that most people actively deny, yet accepting it holds the key to incredible freedom. When you accept that time is a fiercely limited resource, you stop wasting it on petty grievances, toxic relationships, and meaningless worries that do not serve your soul. You suddenly find the immense courage to speak your truth, forgive old wounds, and deeply cherish the simple blessing of waking up to another beautiful morning. Confronting this brutal reality transforms your remaining years from an anxious waiting room into a vibrant, purposeful celebration of everything you love. You step into a state of profound grace, leaving a legacy of absolute warmth. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we come to the end of this conversation, take a quiet, reflective moment to review the 6 brutal realities we have just explored together. Navigating a shrinking social circle, accepting an invisible physical decline, managing the loss of societal relevance, confronting financial uncertainty, adapting to shifting family dynamics, and embracing the proximity of your own mortality are incredibly heavy burdens to carry. It is completely natural to feel a brief wave of sadness or profound anxiety when facing these undeniable truths about life after 70. However, the most beautiful and empowering secret of aging is that recognizing these brutal realities is the exact mechanism that sets you entirely free. When you stop hiding from the difficult changes in your life, you reclaim your absolute authority, stripping away the dark fear of the unknown and replacing it with a brilliant, unshakable resilience. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.